Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Friday, and it's a good Friday. Honestly, let's talk you and me. April 23rd, 2021. Let's start off with the usual, which is the market. Okay, a nice rally here on Wall Street today. Does it mean that the selling is over? Is the corrective phase over? You know what? It's anyone's guess. I'm going to tell you that right here and right now. But I've also been explaining to you since time immemorial that the market is going to continue higher because it's being run by the Federal Reserve. They're pulling all the strings right now. Nothing else matters. Even inflation scares don't matter. Brain dead Biden coming out talking about doubling capital gains tax. That doesn't affect the market. Nothing. It's all about the Fed. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But if you were to turn on today any of the major mainstream financial channels, they're all talking about inflation, inflation, inflation. It's like, it's mind-blowing. Every other word is about inflation, and I want to talk more about that too. But let's again start off with this market here. Nice rally today. The dollar got hit hard. The dollar index fell nearly 0.6%. That's a big move in one day with regard to the dollar. We've watched the dollar take a hit lately, and again, we have not seen anything yet. The dollar is a dying asset by design. The Federal Reserve is on a mission to kill the dollar in its current form. Henceforth, why? You're seeing the mainstream financial channels, inflation, inflation, inflation. They don't understand it. What's going on here? Why are we seeing inflation? I mean, you can't make it up. But that's really the mentality of these imbeciles on the mainstream channels here. Anyway, we're going to talk more about that in a moment. So what else is happening here? 10-year yield, people, if you're watching it right here on my website, traderschoice.net, top of the second page, it's beautiful. It's looking beautiful. The weaker dollar, 10-year yield stable, stock market positive. Did you watch crude oil today? Put on over 1.16%. Obviously, stock market positive. Financials got a boost, as they always do when crude oil gets bid higher. Again, the investment banks are leveraged beyond their eyeballs, far beyond their eyeballs. With regard to crude oil. They have trillions of dollars invested in crude oil going higher. Trillions in leveraged dollars. So again, when you see a false flag event or crude goes higher because of some kind of a thing, well, it's the investment banks that are running the show, and they call the shots too with regard to what's going to happen when it does. I think you all understand that. Gold and silver today fell under a little bit of pressure. What else would you expect? But good. I say embrace it. There's no price discovery mechanism here. I've said that exact statement about 1 billion times since I've been out here for the past 10 plus years, whatever it's been. There's no price discovery. It's not real. Okay. But it is what it is, and I say good. Let them keep on doing it. We're going to talk more about inflation because I think we really need to focus on some of it and what's driving it and what we can expect, although I think you know already. So, again, market rally today off the back of the weaker dollar, 10-year yield stable, crude oil getting propped up. That's why I call it the unholy trinity. You know, you got the 10-year yield, you got the dollar, and you got crude. That's really all you got to focus on. You watch that unholy trinity right there, and you're going to know where the market's going to go in this environment with a central bank that's actually gone out of its mind. Actually, no. Actually, they know exactly what they're doing. And it's all being done on purpose here. You know, let's talk about that in a minute here. So what do we have going on? Let me put this into a different kind of a perspective for you. It's no secret. Everybody knows the Federal Reserve is printing cash actually adding digits to a screen like we've never seen before. And I mean this, it's never been seen before in the history of the world what the Federal Reserve is doing. And other central banks are doing the same thing. Now, other central banks and our Federal Reserve, so they're creating all of this cash out of thin air, cash being debt, and that's through one door. And then through another door, they're buying all the debt. Do you understand? They're creating debt and then buying it. They're going out one door and in another. This mechanism, this revolving door mechanism, is massively, massively inflationary. I mean, so the Fed is creating all this cash out of thin air. They're buying debt with it. They're flooding the world with dollars. They're flooding dollars to central banks around the world who are buying assets with dollars. All common knowledge. Everyone knows it. Courtesy of the American people. So you got all of these bills just created out of nothing. They're just beginning to chase the same amount of goods. So you understand, the amount of goods is relatively static in an environment where central banks, the Federal Reserve, is going nuts, printing cash like crazy just to sustain where we are. Again, just to maintain the current environment. Debt has to be increased exponentially daily. It's like compound interest. You know what I'm saying? It must be increased and then increased more and then increased more the next day and then increased more the next day. You're not supposed to know that, but that's the way it works. Sorry, my eyes itchy here. So you got this revolving door here with the Federal Reserve. Creating debt, buying debt. Creating debt, buying debt. Flooding dollars around the world. Dollarizing the world. That's exactly what they're doing here. Now we're starting to see inflation. Okay, duh. And the media outlets, they can't stop talking about it. Okay, but do we really believe that this is all we're going to see? Absolutely not. All of those extra bills will, again, and they're doing it right now, start to chase the same amount of goods. The only question is, how bad is it going to get? And how fast is it going to happen? I mean, that really is anyone's guess. The real issue is money velocity, the rate at which cash moves through the economy. Right now, our economy is dead. Dead. Imagine when cash actually starts to move. Again, when cash starts to move, that's when all of these bills are really going to start chasing the same amount of goods. And the grand finale, or should I say the super finale, is going to be when we have an implosion by design in the debt market. When rates spike uncontrollably, the Fed's going to have to print more cash, buy it all, and then that's a tsunami of cash moving. Rates will spike, put pressure on the stock market, stocks will sell off, and then forget about it. I mean, that's it. That's the moment where this whole thing just stops dead in its tracks. I think you will have a handle on that. So, understanding what is going on here, the revolving door with the Federal Reserve going in one door, out the other, creating a massive inflationary event. You really, really think this is by accident? Honestly, no. Everything that we're seeing has been thought out well in advance, and they're just fulfilling their end game. The Fed is now and has wanted to be since forever, since their inception, the lender and buyer of last resort. They have become that. We're broke. Okay, all this cash that President Dum wants to spend and all the trillions of dollars, where does it come from? We don't have it. You see, he can't tell you that. President Dum can't tell you, oh, we don't have any of this money here. We got to borrow it from the Fed, who's more than happy to print it out of thin air. Oh, absolutely. See, he can't tell you that. No member of the fake government, from President Dum Biden down, they cannot tell you that they're not the real government. The real government is the Federal Reserve. And the real Congress are Fed presidents. You're not supposed to know any of this. No. You're supposed to think that the freak show that's put in front of your face, that's the real government. Only an imbecile would think that's true. Only an imbecile would think their vote counts or anything along those lines. But I think you got it. So the story is very simple here. Inflation. We're starting to see it. It's going to get monumentally worse. It's just a matter of how fast it happens here. And again, keep your eye on the money velocity. You can just Google this, money velocity, the rate at which cash moves through our economy. Well, if that really does start to pick up for whatever reason, okay, and a sell-off in the debt market would really be the moment where this whole thing implodes, but that's not for a while. But when cash starts to move, even a little bit, when we start to see that money velocity move higher, we know we're really on the cusp of a massive inflationary event. Fact of the matter is, we have not seen anything yet, anything at all. So if you think right now your life is difficult because of inflation and the fact that companies over and over and over are saying, oh, no, we're going to pass on our higher cost to you, so your life is about to get much, much harder. Again, this doesn't really hurt the well-off or the rich as much as it does the middle class. The middle class is the target here. The middle class is being eliminated, no, exterminated, to create the two-tier society that I've explained to you would come literally since time immemorial. All right, people, look, very important video. I covered a lot of important things here. I hope you would agree. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. One of these down here is a little thumb icon. Please click it. And please share this video. Get it out there. As you know, me personally, I am not on any social network anymore. You can only find me on YouTube. You can find me on my website, traderschoice.net, in the chat room, or on Steemit. Or if you feel like subscribing to my free newsletter, there is a link also in the description of this video. But anyway, people, look, we need each other. We need to band together. You know that. That's the way it is. It's so important. And I'm going to leave you off with my favorite 3 things that I do every single Friday. Are you ready? Love each other. Care about each other. Be charitable. Tomorrow, you're going to see the Crypto Kid. At least I hope so. He hasn't sent me a video yet. And you're going to see me on Sunday for my markets to look ahead. It's going to be just lovely as always. All right. See ya.